Gongo.
The waves brought her a child, but this child didn't belong to the land. A long time ago, in a land far, far away, there lived a woman named Obiageli. Obiageli was a very rich woman who always helped the poor and needy. In addition to her wealth and kindness, she was also very beautiful. She had a lot of servants that helped her do house chores, except fetching water from the stream. She loved going to the stream. She did this because she liked the smell of the early morning breeze. It helped her think and feel regular. The people of the village always gossiped about how it was weird for a noble woman to go to the stream by herself. One fateful morning, she went to the stream as usual to fetch water. After filling her pot up, she turned to leave. But then she heard a very beautiful song. She had no idea where the song was coming from, as there was no one else at the stream. She looked around the bushes, trying to see if she would see anyone, but couldn't find anyone. She became really worried. As she was about to leave, the water started rippling. Then a creature came out of the water. Obiageli screamed and started running away. "Please don't run away, Obiageli," the creature begged. Obiageli stopped dead in her tracks when she heard her name. She turned and saw the most beautiful woman she had ever seen. Her skin glowed like honey, with beautiful long flowing hair running down her back. What really stood out was that she had a fish's tail. A real mermaid was right before her eyes. "How do you know my name?" Obiageli asked when she found her voice again. "My name is Nne, the queen of the water world. Please, I have a favor to ask of you," she said. "You've still not answered how you know my name," Obiageli said, crossing her arms. "I see things. I know things. I have powers," Nne said. Obiageli looked at her for a long time, wondering if this was really happening or if it was all a dream. Mermaids are creatures she had only heard about in stories told to her when she was a child. She didn't know what to make of the situation. She pinched herself to make sure she wasn't sleeping. She splashed water on her face to make sure this was not a figment of her imagination, to make sure she wasn't hallucinating. "What do you want from me?" Obiageli asked suspiciously. "Like I said, I am the queen of the water world, and there is trouble in the water world. You do not know this, but whatever happens directly affects the human world too." "How does it affect the human world? We don't even know you guys exist. You're supposed to be a story. I'm not even sure if this is real," Obiageli said. "Every story has an origin. Humans simply forgot. We are as real as you and the trees all around us. As real as the river," the queen of the water world said. Obiageli was conflicted. She had no idea how to handle this situation. "What trouble is there in the water world?" she asked Nne, the queen. "There is an imbalance in power. A faction of the water people want to claim all the land mass on Earth because of the massive damage humans are causing to the planet. I've been doing everything I can to stop it, but some have started flooding small towns and villages with their powers. As long as I'm queen, the complete submergence of Earth won't happen," Queen Nne said. "So what then is the problem? You seem to have everything under control," Obiageli told her. "No, I won't rule forever," Queen Nne said. "There's a prophecy that says I'll be killed and chaos will ensue. But my heiress will bring back balance," Queen Nne said. "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. So what do you want me to do?" Obiageli asked. "I want you to keep a secret," Queen Nne said, bringing a big shell out of the river. She opened it and there was a sleeping baby. Obiageli opened her mouth in surprise, looking at the beautiful baby. "This is my heiress. No one knows I had her. I've kept her a secret to give the world an advantage. Please, can you keep my secret?" Raise her as your own child, but when she's 25, she will have to save the world." Obiageli looked from mother to daughter, over and over again. "What's her name?" she asked. "I haven't given her a name yet to prevent the name bond. I want you to bond with her as her parent," Queen Nne said. "She's as beautiful as you are, like the moon and stars. I'll name her Omalicha," Obiageli said, carrying the baby. "Thank you so much, Obiageli. As long as she has the enchanted bead, she will remain in her human form," Queen Nne said. "Why though? Why me? Why did you choose me?" Obiageli asked. "The goodness in your heart shines brighter than the sun," Queen Nne replied, with a slight smile on her face. "I have to go now, Obiageli. I've been away too long. Please take care. Thank you so much." The queen of the water world dove into the river and swam away after one final look at her baby. Obiageli walked back home without a water pot, but with a bundle of hope nestled between her arms. She went to the river to fetch water that morning, but returned with the savior of all humanity. In the days following Obiageli's encounter with Nne at the river, things changed for her. She looked at the beautiful baby in her arms and wondered why anyone would want to harm her. She also thought about why the people of the water world were angry. She hated the fact that humans were the reason for their anger. Their anger, which has now turned towards a loving queen and her baby. Obiageli's heart was filled with so much love for the baby. Of course, the people started talking, fabricating stories and lies, anything to tarnish her image. She paid them no mind, pouring all her love into baby Omalicha. She knew no one would believe her if she told them the true story of how she found Omalicha, so she told them she found her abandoned by the riverside. But people who were jealous of her success were spreading rumors that she stole someone else's baby. She just laughed whenever she heard the accusations. Omalicha was a very quiet baby. All servants in the house loved her. She rarely cried. She only cried when she was hungry or uncomfortable. Other than that, she was usually very quiet and always laughing. This made the servants really cherish her. Her happiness was contagious. They were always buying her gifts, beads and sweets. As she grew older, she became even more lovable. She was kind, respectful and helpful. She never let her mother's wealth get to her head. She would help with chores around the house, even when she was prohibited from doing so. Omalicha grew in love, wealth and affluence. She had wisdom and compassion way beyond her years, and even helped Obiageli make some decisions. Her conflict resolution skill was always a shock to everyone. She handled all the disputes between the servants, fostering harmony in her mother's house. All these were not lost on Obiageli. She observed quietly, beaming with pride. She trained her daughter in diplomatics and sharpened her leadership skills because she knew one day Omalicha was going to need them. She also knew the time was coming when she would have to tell Omalicha the truth about her origin, but she didn't know it would be so soon. On the night of Omalicha's 12th birthday, Obiageli was in Omalicha's room, telling her bedtime stories of the tortoise and other animals as usual. Suddenly, Omalicha jerked. She was muttering in an unknown language, so Obiageli couldn't understand her. Obiageli couldn't also call for help because that would reveal the secret she promised Nne to protect. Her bead was also glowing. Omalicha finally reverted to the language she understood. "The world is breaking. My people are dying. Both of my people are dying. I have to protect them," she muttered and muttered before collapsing in Obiageli's arms. When she woke up, she saw Obiageli holding her and crying. "Mama, what's happened? Why are you crying?" Omalicha asked her mother. As Obiageli was about to answer, loud screams were heard outside. The servants and other members of the community were panicking and running helter-skelter.
Obiageli asked the servant who happened to be running past Omalicha's room what was happening, and the servant turned to her, looking very scared, and said, "A flood is coming." A flood is coming. This was a sentence Obiageli never expected to hear. Her mind was in chaos. What type of flood? What does this really mean? She was trying very hard not to think about what Nne, the queen of the water world, told her years ago about the faction of people in the water world that were flooding human settlements in anger. It can't be. It is not possible, she said, trying to reassure herself. This is just a normal flood. It has nothing to do with the revolting mer people of the water world, she said, trying to believe her words. But no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't. It was the dry season. There hadn't been any rain in many months. The river wasn't close to its bank. All these facts made the flood not make sense. It was an anomaly no one could explain. No one except Obiageli. "Omalicha, come quickly," Obiageli ordered, holding her daughter's hand firmly. They ran down the hallway in panic. "Mommy, what's happening?" Omalicha asked, breathing heavily. "A flood is coming, my child," she answered. "A flood? But there hasn't been any rain for some time now. So, how?" Omalicha asked. "There is no time for answering questions now, okay? Let's just focus on getting to safety first," Obiageli said. Omalicha nodded and continued running. "But where are we going to?" she asked her mom again after some time. "We are going to the safe house, my child," Obiageli replied. As they ran down the windy path with their servants, Obiageli heard a voice call her name. The voice that has been stuck in her head for years. "Nzube, come, take Omalicha to the safe house and make sure she is okay. I'll be with you shortly," she ordered the chief maid. "Yes, ma. I'll see to it that she is safe," Nzube said. "Mommy, where are you going?" Omalicha asked. "I'll join you soon. I forgot something back at the main house. Just go with Nzube, okay?" she told her daughter, holding her face dearly. Omalicha nodded and continued down the path with Nzube. If she's hearing Nne's voice, that means there is indeed trouble, she thought. As she made her way between the trees, she wondered what it meant. She wondered if this means all hope is lost for humanity's survival. She walked and walked, following the voice to a stream in the woods, and Nne's reflection appeared in the water. "What's going on?" Obiageli asked without hesitation. The leader of the rebelling faction has resumed her attack on human settlements. There was a riot in the underwater palace a moon ago. The merfolk from the Arctic are complaining of the melting ice and increased temperatures. Their population is decimating, so the rebelling faction swung back into action. "They are not going to stop until I give the order to completely submerge the earth," Nne explained. "So does this mean my home will be destroyed by the flood? Omalicha's home? The community?" Obiageli asked, devastated. "No, that's why I'm here. I'm holding the flood back. I'm preventing it from getting into the main village. But I can't hold it for much longer. I need you to do something for me," Nne said. "Sure, I'll do anything. Just say it," Obiageli agreed immediately. "Take 10 cowries, bury them at the riverbank. Stand on the spot where you buried them, and then a song will come to you. After singing the song, it will all end. But you have to hurry. I can't hold it for much longer. I am in 8 places at once, and it's telling on me. Go now," Nne ordered her. Obiageli ran back home to pick up the cowries from her room, then ran to the river. She dug a hole by the river, placed the cowries in the hole, and covered it up. She took a deep breath, wondering if this would work. Suddenly, she started singing. Miri, miri, oh, miri, miri, oh, miri, miri, oh, miri, miri, oh, biko diri do, miri, biko diri do, oh, biko diri do, miri, biko diri do, oh, miri, biko diri do, oh. She sang and danced like the waves. When the song came to an end, the water crashed and crashed, but started receding till it was normal. She smiled in relief and pride, glad that the crisis was successfully averted. Shortly after the river was back to normal, she saw a fish's tail disappear into the water. She smiled again, thinking it was Nne. Nne! Nne! Nne, you can show yourself! She called on Nne. As Nne's reflection reappeared, Obiageli told her she did it and it worked, thanking Nne profusely. But she could see Nne looked worried. Nne, what's the issue? You don't look very pleased. You should be happy, Obiageli said. Nne's reflection moved away from view for a few minutes. When she came back into view, she looked distraught and very worried. Obiageli, you were spotted by a member of the rebelling faction. You have to get out of the village and fast. Your life might be in danger. Take Omalicha and leave the village immediately. Obiageli was flustered as she ran to the safe house. Her life is in danger? How? She was flustered and afraid. She knew it would be very risky to raise Omalicha, but she didn't expect it to be deadly. If her life is in danger, what chance did she have against the powerful mer people? How would she get away? She was so confused. But in her confusion, there was clarity. She was sure of one thing. She was going to do everything humanly possible to protect Omalicha. When she got to the safe house, there was no one there. Her staff were nowhere to be seen. No people, no animals, only silence. Omalicha, Omalicha, she called out to no reply. Nzube, Nzube, she called the chief maid's name. There was still no answer. She started to panic. What could be happening? Nne, Nne, Nne. She called the queen of the water world and was met with silence. She ran out of the safe house and started running back to the main house. She was so distraught, imagining the worst. What would she do with herself if she loses Omalicha? She couldn't imagine the pain. She couldn't imagine life without Omalicha. She ran at top speed, covering a long distance in a very short time. When she got to the main house, she saw her staff dancing and jubilating around the fire. She saw Omalicha dancing. She saw Nzube smiling. She was so relieved. Mommy, the flood didn't come anymore. A miracle happened. The river goddess must have heard my prayer, Omalicha said when she saw Obiageli. She ran to her mom and Obiageli hugged her tightly, feeling the weight of worry leave her. My love, come quickly. We are leaving now, Obiageli said, leading Omalicha by the arm. Mommy, where are we going? Omalicha asked. I'll explain everything later, but we have to go now, Obiageli told her. Mommy, you've been keeping things from me. It's not fair. We tell each other everything, Omalicha said. I just told you I will explain everything to you later. This is not the time to argue, Obiageli said, putting her hand on Omalicha's shoulder. Omalicha nodded slowly. Nzube, I'm going on an impromptu trip. I don't know when I'll be back. I need you to gather able maids and servants that will accompany me on my journey. While I'm away, I entrust the house to you. Make sure everything is going fine, okay? Madam, is everything okay? Uzube asked, worried. Everything is fine, Uzube. Thank you, Obiageli replied. Her servants prepared her horse-drawn carriages and packed enough supplies for a long trip. As they did this, Obiageli was in her room, packing important things. Then she joined Omalicha in the carriage. It was a very quiet ride, and Obiageli fell asleep from exhaustion halfway into the journey. They traveled many miles and stopped at a village near the Niger River. Obiageli rented several huts for she and her servants. The next morning, Obiageli and Omalicha asked for directions to the stream and went there to fetch water. As they were returning to the huts, Omalicha spoke. Mommy, you said you will tell me what's happening, she said. Yes, my child. It's not an easy topic, but I promise I'll tell you when we get home. As they continued down the road, they saw an elderly priestess and greeted her. The woman stopped abruptly and bowed before Omalicha. Our savior, I welcome you, the priestess said. Omalicha looked confused and Obiageli looked terrified. Our savior, I welcome you. Your destiny begins now. Omalicha was so confused and was short of words. She kept looking at the elderly priestess in front of her, not knowing what to say. She looked at her mom, as if expecting an explanation, but Obiageli looked shocked. Mommy, what's she saying? Omalicha asked. My child, please give me a minute, you hear? Obiageli said to Omalicha. Then she turned to the woman and said, Mama, please come with me. Obiageli and the priestess walked a short distance away from Omalicha, who looked like her confusion kept on growing and growing. She couldn't help but feel weird about the whole thing. From the flood to the relocation, and now this? She didn't like the confusion she was feeling and couldn't wait for an explanation. She didn't know what was going on, but she thought the gods must be angry at mortals. Mama, who are you? Obiageli asked the priestess. The priestess looked at Obiageli for some time with a small smile on her face. Who do you think I am? She replied. If I knew who you were, I wouldn't be asking. So please tell me, Obiageli pleaded. The priestess laughed and said, Truly, what the adults see sitting, the children cannot see, even on top an iroko tree. So you mean to tell me that you cannot tell from my regalia that I am a devotee, messenger, and priestess to Nimmiri, the water deity? She asked gently. Obiageli realized immediately and let out a breath she didn't even know she had been holding in. She felt a little relieved, for she was already in fight mode. She was ready to do anything to protect Omalicha if the priestess had turned out to be an enemy. I didn't notice. My mind had been so occupied that even the tiniest details elude me, Obiageli explained. It's fine, my daughter, the priestess assured her. But what do you mean? What did Nne tell you? Obiageli asked her. Did you think she was going to save the world on her own, without any training? She has powers beyond our comprehension, and that could be dangerous if she doesn't learn how to control or use it properly. It could be a danger to the people around her, and even herself, the priestess said. Obiageli nodded quietly in understanding. Nne didn't tell me anything about you though, she said contemplatively. The priestess looked at her smiling. When I was a little girl, about your daughter's age, I was still an acolyte. I had a vision where Nne came to me and told me about a savior. She didn't tell me when or where, but she said when I see her, I'll know. It's been many years since then. Look at me now. I'm an old woman, and destiny is just about to be fulfilled, the priestess explained. The universe works in wondrous ways, Obiageli said in awe. Of course it does. Of every other place you could have gone to in this big wide world. Do you think it's a mere coincidence you decided to settle here? No. Providence does what Providence wants, the priestess explained again. Indeed it does. I'll tell her the truth of the whole matter tonight. Please, can you come to our home tomorrow morning so we can get started on her training? Obiageli asked. Of course, the priestess said, smiling. Suddenly, her smile vanished. She started running towards Omalicha. Come quickly, she's manifesting. As Obiageli turned, she saw Omalicha's hair flying in the wind, her eyes glowing with ethereal light. They are coming, Omalicha said. Her voice sounded like many people. They are coming, she said again. The priestess stretched forth her right hand, muttering words Obiageli couldn't hear. She raised her other hand too, and Omalicha fell to her knees. She muttered more and more, breathing heavily and sweating. As she continued muttering, Omalicha became unconscious. As soon as Omalicha fainted, Obiageli ran towards her and cradled her in her arms. She turned and found the priestess breathing hard. Are you doing okay? Obiageli asked her, looking worried. Yes, I am, my dear. Thank you. She is strong. Too strong, even. And this isn't even a quarter of her power, she replied. What happened? She asked. She's reacting to the shift. There's an imbalance, and subconsciously, her inner psyche is reacting defensively to the chaos. She instinctively wants to protect it, the priestess replied, looking tired. She said they are coming. Who? Who is she talking about? Obiageli asked. I'm sure you know the answer to that, the priestess said. Quick now, we have to take her home and begin. Time is running out. There's a lot to do, she told Obiageli as they carried Omalicha home. When Omalicha opened her eyes, she was in her room. When she looked to her left, she saw the old priestess calmly grinding some herbs in a small pot. And when she looked to her right, she saw her mom sleeping by her bedside. She tried to remember what happened, but her brain felt foggy. This was not the first time this feeling was happening, but it was enough for her to notice a pattern. The first time she felt like this, there was a flood that never really came, and then her mother said they were moving abruptly. And now in this new place, the strange priestess said she was the savior. She just lay confused, looking at the ceiling. Thank goodness you're awake, the priestess said, placing the little pot down and standing up. Her movement startled Obiageli, who woke up immediately. As soon as she saw Omalicha, she hugged her tightly in relief. After some time, she noticed Omalicha didn't return the hug. She just sat stiffly, looking straight ahead, saying nothing. Oma, are you doing okay? Obiageli asked her child. Omalicha didn't say anything. Is there anything wrong with my child? She asked again. I'm fine, Omalicha said under her breath, looking away. Obiageli looked at the priestess, who closed her eyes and nodded her head slowly. The atmosphere in the room became really tense. The priestess stood quietly at a corner. This wasn't her duty to carry out. Obiageli sat beside Omalicha, holding her hand gently. I know it seems like I've been intentionally keeping things away from you, but that is not so. It is just that there are many things you do not know and are more difficult than I expected to say, in all honesty. But we are running out of time apparently, so I must tell you the truth of the whole matter now. Obiageli had Omalicha's attention now. Omalicha sat straighter, waiting for Obiageli to continue. Obiageli looked at the priestess again, as if asking if she's doing the right thing, if this was indeed the right time. The priestess gave a small nod again. Obiageli continued. Several years ago, I went to the stream one early morning to fetch water, as usual. But something happened. Something strange and so beautiful. A miracle. You, Obiageli said. Me? Omaricha asked. Yes, you, Obiageli replied. You know I would never lie to you. I need you to believe every word I say. On that day, after I had filled my water pot up, I heard a beautiful voice singing a song I hadn't heard before. I tried to find the singer, but found no one. As I was about to leave, a creature came out of the water. A mermaid came out of the water. She told me she's the queen of the water world. She told me there is chaos and that there was a rebel faction in the water world and they want to flood the earth. Obiageli said, taking a deep breath. I still don't understand what this has to do with me, Omalicha said. Exercise patience, young one, the priestess said. Nne, that is her name. The queen of the water world said there is a prophecy where she would be assassinated, but her daughter is going to be the savior. Then she brought you out of a shell and handed you to me. You are going to be our savior, Obiageli finished. Omalicha looked more confused than she's ever been. Me? How? What do you mean? She asked. She got up from the bed and started pacing around. Wait, do you mean you're not my mother? She asked, devastated. Oh, I'm very much your mother, my baby, Obiageli reassured her. Her reassurance eased Omalicha's worry. After some time, she took a deep breath and said, This is not the time to be all emotional. It's confusing, yes, but I have to prepare for what's to come. Right, Mom? Omalicha asked. Obiageli nodded her head in agreement, smiling with pride. So what's the next course of action? What am I to do? Omalicha asked. That's where I come in. Your training begins now, the priestess said. Her name is Omalicha, daughter of Obiageli, daughter of Nne. She's the savior of humanity, the healing water, the light that ends the darkness. For many years, she has been training with the priestess, honing her powers, preparing for the day of reckoning. There she was again, breathing hard as the priestess pushed her past her limit. You have powers beyond anyone's imagination. Stop holding yourself back. Focus on what you want. See it and make it a reality, the priestess said to Omalicha. I'm trying, but it's so hard, Omalicha said, breathing heavily. She put her hand on Omalicha's shoulder, talking gently. You are putting a mental block on yourself because you feel like you don't have what it takes. And that's not true. This is the last test for you. And the rebel faction will not wait for you to overcome this. You have dispersed and brought rain clouds. You have dried out and revived large expanses of land. You have increased and decreased the tides. This is the last thing for you to do. Fully accept the other part of you because whether you like it or not, you are a part of both worlds. Now take your mermaid form. You'll need it because neither your mom nor I can go with you, the priestess reminded her. I don't want to. I'm not ready, she said quietly. I'm not ready, she said. Or are you just afraid? Omalicha couldn't say anything because of the truth. She was afraid. Young one, fear is good. It's normal. It means you realize there's something to lose, something to fight for. But if you let your fear win, you'll lose everything. That's not worth it, the priestess replied. It doesn't make it any easier. I'm not ready, she said, sitting by the riverbank. There was a brief spell of silence. The priestess sat beside Omalicha, took a deep breath and said, Then you leave me no choice. She yanked off the bead that keeps Omalicha in her human form and pushed her into the river. Omalicha thrashed and thrashed, struggling to get out as her legs merged to form a mermaid's tail. Feel the currents, hear the water. It's your home and it won't hurt you. You are its princess and it obeys you, the priestess said to Omalicha. After some time, Omalicha became calm, disappeared beneath the surface, and leaped out like a dolphin. Her eyes glowed, her skin glistened. She took her regal water form. The water around her shimmered and new plants sprouted around the riverbank. The priestess, upon seeing this, bowed in reverence. Her work is done, and she has trained the savior of the world. As they were smiling in fulfillment, Omalicha jerked, staring at the sky as if in a trance. Then she saw a mermaid. It felt like she was staring at an older version of herself. "My child," the woman cried. "Nne, oh my child, I'm so sorry. I only wish we had more time. I wish the universe had a better plan for us," Nne said. "Nne, is this really you? Thank you. Thank you for everything," Omalicha said sadly. "I don't have much time. I just wanted to let you know that I love you and I'm proud of you." As Nne was speaking, she just disappeared and Omalicha screamed in pain. "What's wrong?" the old woman asked. "I don't know how to explain it, but Nne is dead," Omalicha replied, crying softly, grieving the loss of a mother she never got the chance to know. Obiageli ran as fast as she could to the river. She felt Nne's death, and that could mean only one thing. It's time for prophecy to become reality. She saw the priestess and Omalicha in her mermaid form. She was stunned by her daughter's beauty and was filled with so much pride. But there were more pressing issues. "Nne is dead," she said breathlessly. "We know," the priestess said somberly. "What do we do now?" Obiageli asked. "Mom, priestess, thank you for everything, but this next part has to be done by only me," Omalicha said. "What are you talking about?" Obiageli asked her. "I mean, it's just like the priestess said. You can't follow me." "Bye, Mom. I promise I'll be back," Omalicha said, disappearing into the water, swiftly swimming through portals of the water world, like she's been doing it all her lifetime. As she swam, she kept asking herself what she was going to do upon arrival. But she didn't have enough time to think about it as she saw a bright light ahead, drawing her in. When she was on the other side, she saw the water world in chaos. The pandemonium was great, and it seemed to be like a full-on fight was about to break out. The rebel faction by the left and the loyal faction by the right, their hands glowing with magic. The leaders of both factions swam forward. "This cannot be the way. Not only did you plan on eradicating our terrestrial counterparts, you also killed the Queen Mother?" the leader of the loyal faction said, her voice heavy with anger. There was no other way to end this madness the humans have brought upon us. Our brethren in the poles are dying. Global warming, dumping oils in the sea, islands of plastic, loss of aquatic life, near extinction, contamination. We can't let it go on, the leader of the rebel faction said, his voice heavy with anger too. "I understand your anger, but do you think the best way to resolve this is by killing our queen?" the loyal faction asked. "Yes, she was in the way of our success," the rebel faction replied. "Then you leave us no choice, brother," the leader of the loyal faction said, signaling the start of a war. As they were about to attack each other, Omalicha yelled, "Stop! Stop!" as she sent a big wave pushing them apart. She swam to the middle, in between the warring parties. "I have observed the whole situation, and it's really tricky and sad," she said calmly. The people of the water world looked at her in fear and surprise, for she was a spitting image of her mother, their queen. "Who are you?" they asked her. "I'm Omalicha, daughter of Obiageli, daughter of Nne, the queen of the water world, and I'm here to save us all," she declared with strength in her voice. There were murmurs of the prophecy going around the people, and most of them bowed to her, all but the leader of the rebel faction. He charged at Omalicha, but with a flick of her wrist, she cast him aside, trapping him in a water prison. I have heard the plights of both sides, and they are all very valid. I believe my mother would have rectified this, but she never lived with humans, so she didn't trust their judgment. But I have lived with them, laughed with them, played with them. I am like them as much as I am like you. I live the experiences of both worlds, and will see to it that a solution that benefits both races will be reached. There was lots of cheering. She swam to the surface and projected her consciousness to every part of the world. "Hear me, humans. Your carelessness almost caused your extinction. The earth is alive and breathing, just like you. You cannot harm her and expect to walk scot-free. Global warming, dumping oils in the sea, islands of plastic, loss of aquatic life, near extinction, contamination. This all has to stop. Hear me, humans, or else I will see to it that justice is meted out immediately. This is a call to action, a warning, and a threat. Make laws and policies that benefit you and the earth, or we, the defenders of the earth, will take actions to protect ourselves and the world. Act right now," she said, ending her speech. There was loud cheering among the people of the water world, and peace was returned. She went back to the land, into the arms of her mother, who kept telling her how proud she was. The priestess smiled in pride and fulfillment too. Omalicha went around the world attending press conferences, representing the earth and the water world, making sure the policies have benefited everyone, and the world started healing one policy at a time, transforming into a beautiful haven that fosters life and innovation. And it's a wrap for the Mermaid's baby. A whole new beautiful episode next week. Stay tuned. Bye.
Gongo.